Hey everybody, I'm Scott Burkett and welcome to another installment of the Booze Briefing. This is where I get to answer your dumbass questions about my book series, Joe's The Cold War Diaries Volume 1 and Volume 2 with Volume 3 in the works. I literally just finished recording an episode and I'm sitting here with a pour of Bib and Tucker Double Char Bourbon, which is 2 thumbs up, by the way. This is fantastic stuff. And you know, I've been going over my notes and taking a few more sips, and then I had another pour, and yeah, okay, so what the hell? I just keep it rolling, right? I'm just going to keep it rolling and answer some more questions. I got a lot of questions here. So let me just flip through here. I'm just gonna go through. Here's a quick one here from Mike K. He says, you mentioned Rampage We Pierce several times in the books, and of course I in the series here in video with that same thing. Was that an inside joke or an actual salute? No, it was actually, that's what we did. It was 3rd Battalion, 64th Armor. I don't have an insignia anywhere around here, but it was part of 3rd ID at the time. But the 64th Armor, our mascot is a black African elephant, the silhouette of a black African elephant on our regimental crest. And so there's a whole story behind We Pierce that goes back to World War II. At any rate, we were the Rampage Battalion. You had the Rogue Battalion, the Tuskers, whatever. We were 3rd Battalion, which was the Rampage Battalion. And in our unit, in 364 Armor, it was customary. You walk down the street and you pass an officer, you say, Rampage, sir, and he would reply, We Pierce. That was it, you know. And so, no, that was not an inside joke. That's actually what it is. Let's see, here's a question from DKB. This is the bonus round. I'm just going to lightning fast here, some more of these questions. What's the deal with everyone being broke all the time in the books? Well, shit, man. I mean, okay, first off, it was 1980s. I think my paycheck, you know, like we got paid once a month. It was like $500 or something, $550, $525. I don't know. It was 500 something. And you think, okay, well, you're not paying rent. You're living in the barracks, right? You're getting your food at the chow hall. It's all play money. But yeah, but if you drink like GIs do, all right, you could blow that in a weekend easily. I mean, if you wanted to, and it happened, right? Your whole check would be on. And we had the conversion to German marks, right? We had the exchange rate, right, between the American dollars and the German marks. And when it was like 3 and 4 to 1, so 3 or 4 German marks to $1, times were good. When it started drifting down towards 2.5 marks, you know, or 2 marks to the dollar, then your money didn't go as far. You know, and we bought some stuff on base, you know, liquor that we drank in the barracks, you know, we're getting that at the classic store on the base. We weren't drinking this stuff, man. We were drinking like Jack Daniels, Jim Beam, you know. There was only a handful of liquors that you could get over there. Now, I mean, you know, it's unbelievable how many selections we have for whiskeys and bourbons and things like that here today. But yeah, we were broke all the time, man, because we didn't make that much money, you know. I haven't looked at what, you know, junior enlisted guys make today. I know it's more, but obviously cost of living, you know, has gone up as well. So, you know, I don't know if it's kept up with the cost of living or not. I don't really know how you could have lived beyond being a single young junior enlisted guy, like if you were stateside, you know, paying stateside prices for stuff. I don't know, but over there in Germany, you know, West Germany at the time, it wasn't that bad, but we were broke because all we did was drink, man. I mean, and that shit adds up, right? So yeah, we're, you know, brothels, you know, food, you gotta get bratwurst at 2 in the morning, man. Come on, yeah. So it adds up pretty quick, and your money does not go very far at all. Let's see here. Why did the Army let guys like you operate heavy tanks? That's you know what? Jerry Witt is a very good friend of mine. He used to be an Army recruiter. He watches these videos. Maybe Jerry will chime in about why the Army let guys like me or guys like us operate heavy tanks. I'm sure he's got some recruitery stories here. Let's see what else we got here. Let me take a sip here. That double char is really good. Here's a quick question here. Who sent this one in? Oh, this is from Mike K. Mike K, yeah. How much of Fire in the Hole was exaggerated? That's the story in Volume 2, Fire in the Hole. None. I mean, I described it in colorful language, but no, there was nothing exaggerated about it. I don't want to spoil the story, but Yeah, I mean, it played out exactly the way, that I described it. There's some, there's not really, there's creative ways to explain things, but there's not a lot of hyperbole in that story. I mean, it really happened just like that. Here's another DKB. Did you ever actually meet anyone like the Holy Roller again after you ETS'd? The thing is, like, here's the thing, man. So if you guys haven't read the books yet, the Holy Roller was this E5, was a sergeant that was stationed with us. And he was, he was a Holy Roller. Nothing wrong with that if that's your bag. It didn't really have any place in the military, though. All right. And, you're there, you're on point, you're on mission, you're doing your thing, right? And your personal beliefs and all that shit, it stays in the foot locker, right? It stays in the wall locker, whatever. But he didn't. He trotted it out. And again, there's nothing wrong with everybody having their own belief system. That's fantastic. But he kind of came down from on high, and he was kind of wanting to convert everybody and all this stuff. I may have met somebody like that, but the difference is that when you're an E1 through E4 in the Army, actually any rank, it doesn't really matter. If one of your superiors exhibits a certain behavior, especially back then, it's too fucking bad. That guy was in my direct chain of command. So, it wasn't like I could just say, you know what, I ain't going to fucking talk to that guy anymore. Like, no, I mean, he was in my chain of command. I had to deal with his ass every day. We all did, right? So in the civilian world, you can choose, like, hey, I don't want to associate with this person or hang out with him because it's not my vibe. You don't have that option in the military. Certainly back then you didn't have the option. So yeah, I may have met somebody like that, but it's just not my bag, right? So I probably would have. Let's see here. How did First Sergeant Montez? Who's this? This is from DKB again. Thanks for all the questions, DKB. How did First Sergeant Montez put up with all of that bullshit? Man, well, here's the thing. He tried not to. Montez, that's not his real name. And I got to be careful so I don't accidentally say his last name. He was, a pretty old school first sergeant, man. And he was in, during Vietnam. When I was in, it was maybe like a decade after Vietnam, right? So had ended. So he came from that world. He didn't want to put up with it. I mean, he tried to clean up the barracks. He came in and said, no more drinking. We're not going to do all this shit in the barracks, blah, 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 blah. And it was like a revolt, right? We all were like revolted. It was like our little micro version of prohibition, right? Like, oh, we're not going to do this anymore. Okay, fine. Well, we're going to find a way. So it doesn't matter what you think. But he tried to do all that. I don't know if he put up with it. I think we probably raised his blood pressure quite a bit, back then. He passed away. I want to say I read that he's listed on the memorial wall in the book. I think he passed away. I want to say about like 10 years ago, maybe. But he didn't want to put up with it. I will say this though. There's a couple of stories in the first book where I get dragged in front of the battalion command sergeant major. And I can't remember off the top of my head what I called him in the book, so I got to remember not to use his last name as well. He's passed away as well at this point. But he actually kind of would defend at least me a little bit, because Montez was on a little bit of he was on the warpath, right, when he first took over the unit. But he didn't put up with it, man. No, he fucking hated it. He was really kind of doing that. Let's see. Here's the last question we'll do here. What was the worst hangover you ever had in West Germany? I don't remember. So many. I don't know. I mean, so many. Head caving in, running PT, smoking cigarettes, throwing up. That's what it was like back then. I don't remember. There were an awful lot of them, though. I know that. And I know I wasn't alone. I remember pulling out of a PT formation. We're doing a little morning 2-3 mile run, whatever. And I'm over there throwing up, man. My buddy comes over, we're saying, hey, how you doing? Rap, just do the thing. You pull yourself together and get right back in the formation and start running again. So I don't know, man. Too many hangovers to count. Too many hangovers to count. Look at all these questions you guys have sent me. These are fantastic, man. I really appreciate it. Look at all this stuff. This is terrific, right? At any rate, you degenerates, that's enough enlightenment for today. So Rampage, We Pierce, Rock of the Marne, and go get them.
Dismissed!